Welcome to Celebrity Fun Zone, the only place where we celebrate the absolute absurdity of Hollywood through a lens of healthy, well-adjusted cynicism. Today, we are diving into the abyss of what might be the most intense, long-standing, and frankly, exhausting relationship in show business. I am talking about the codependent saga of Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Most people look at these two and see a heartwarming tale of childhood friends who made it to the list together. I look at them and see the men who have spent 40 years in a psychological three-legged race that neither of them is allowed to win or lose. It is not just a bromance, it is a lifetime sentence. Let us start with the geographic claustrophobia of their lives, or what I like to call the neighborhood nightmare. They grew up to blocks apart in Cambridge, which is fine for children. But these are grown men with private jets and multiple Oscars. Yet, they seem incapable of existing outside of a 3-mile radius of one another. For decades, they have shared everything from bank accounts to neighborhood proximity. Their Thanksgiving tradition is not just a meal, it is a mandatory attendance check. Imagine being the spouse in this situation, trying to have a private holiday moment while Ben and Matt are in the corner debating the merits of their childhood stickball games for the 10,000th time. It is a level of proximity that suggests if one of them were to move to a different time zone, the other would suffer immediate, catastrophic organ failure. They are like those binary star systems that are slowly spiraling into each other, except with more Boston accents and Dunkin' Donuts coffee. The roots of this shared delusion go back to 1989, to what we can only call the ultimate rejection. Before they were household names, they were just teenagers in bad sweaters auditioning for the role of Robin in Tim Burton's Batman. Can you picture it? Two young men desperate for approval, both competing to wear green spandex and follow a man dressed as a bat around London. Neither of them got the part. Obviously, instead of this being a moment of individual growth, it became a cornerstone of their collective trauma. They failed together, which apparently meant they were destined to succeed together, or at least to never let the other one forget the shame of almost being a boy wonder. That failed audition did not just rob us of a very weird version of Robin. It solidified a pact that neither of them would ever have to face a casting director alone again. It is the kind of bond forged in the fires of mutual embarrassment. A flame that clearly still burns bright every time they look at each other. And remember the spandex that never was. This brings us to the actual power dynamics at play, which are, to put it mildly, fascinatingly toxic. Ben has a habit of referring to Matt as the little fella. Think about that for a second. Matt Damon is an international movie star, Jason Bourne-level action hero, and a respected screenwriter. Yet to Ben, he is still just the smaller kid from down the street who needs a pat on the head. Then there is the infamous phone hang-up rule. They have openly admitted that if they are on the phone and the conversation gets boring, or they just feel like it, they simply hang up. No goodbye, no talk to you later, just a sudden dial tone. Most people call that a sign of a personality disorder, but in the world of Affleck and Damon, it is considered a sign of true intimacy. It is a psychological game of chicken where the first person to say a polite farewell loses their alpha status. It is the kind of communication style you would expect from two people who have spent so much time together that they have forgotten where one personality ends and the other begins. They do not need pleasantries because they are essentially talking to a mirror that just happened to star in The Martian. But the codependency does not stop with them. They are actively recruiting the next generation into this cycle of forced friendship. We are talking about the Next Gen Legacy Project. Their kids go to the same schools, they attend the same school plays, and you just know they are sitting in the front row, judging the production quality like they are back on the set of Good Will Hunting. Imagine being a 10-year-old trying to remember your lines while Ben Affleck stares at you. With the intensity of a man who has directed 3 critically acclaimed films, probably whispering acting notes to Matt about how the lighting in the school gym is subpar. They are not just raising children. They are raising a new cast for the inevitable reboot of their lives. It is a multi-generational franchise of friendship where the kids are essentially being groomed to maintain the same neighborhood proximity and shared bank accounts that their fathers perfected. It is a beautiful, terrifying, and deeply sarcastic cycle of loyalty in an industry where people change friends as often as they change publicists. Ben and Matt are the only constant. They are the North Star of celebrity codependency. Whether they are starting production companies together or just hanging up on each other mid-sentence, they have managed to turn a childhood friendship into a global brand that none of us can escape. We are all just living in the world they built in a Cambridge basement in the 80s. It is impressive, really, in a way that makes you want to both applaud and suggest they see separate therapists for at least 1 week a year. So here is to the boys from Boston, who proved that if you cling to your childhood friend hard enough, eventually the rest of the world will just give up and let you win Oscars for it. It is a sarcastic, ironic, and strangely successful strategy for life. Thanks for hanging out with us at Celebrity Fun Zone while we dissected this legendary disaster of a bond. If you enjoyed this trip through the twisted halls of celebrity friendship, make sure to follow and subscribe for more deep dives into the people who have way too much fame and way too little personal space. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.